Hello and welcome to Bradford Cathedral. As you may not be able to visit us at the moment, we thought we'd bring Bradford Cathedral to you instead and show you some of the interesting details of the cathedral. If there is anything that you want to know about Bradford Cathedral and you've always wondered about, then perhaps you could email us and we'll hopefully include it in a future excerpt. The three wall hangings were commissioned by the Provost and Chapter of the Cathedral in 1992 and were created by Patricia Porter, a mature student of the University College of Ripon and York St John. The hangings were made by the ancient technique of felting, learned especially by Patricia, who, in carrying out her commission, discovered her vocation in the craft. Sharon Williams and Carol Fall gave assistance, under the guidance of tutor Mike Breyer. The themes of the panels were to illustrate chapters of Celtic Christianity, its spread from Iona to Lindisfarne. The seabirds on the Lindisfarne panel exemplified the gospel and hope spreading outwards from the island. The panel in the centre depicts the Royal Hebridean Isle of Iona, where Aidan was a monk. Here, Columba's low green isle, once the Isle of the Druids, rests on a turquoise and indigo sea. Iona Abbey looks across the narrow sound of Iona to the larger Isle of Mull with its heathery hills. Here, beside the ancient carved wheel crosses of Iona, one has a feeling of being rooted into the very foundations of northern Christianity. The silence is touched only by the sound of the sea and its birds. The flowered shoreline, or macaire, leads down to a great breadth of shining water. The Celtic-style borders of the panels follow a pattern. The top shows creatures of the air. The sides show plants of the earth. The bottom shows aspects of the sea or streams. In the Iona panel, the top border shows butterflies, which abound on the wild flowers of the island, and the sides show the yellow irises, which grow wild, and were used by the monks for inks and pigments for their illuminated calligraphy. The bottom border shows seals. The left side hanging is that of Bradford in ancient times, when the village beside the beck was surrounded by woodland. It was unusual for a village to be built in the valley bottom, but here was an important crossing place, which became a place of meeting and marketing, of sharing and exchange, at the broad ford, which gave Bradford its singular name. Here some early Christian preacher came, first as a storyteller, bringing the good news. Tradition says that the preacher came from Paulinus at Edwin's Court near York via Dewsbury. Since the first group of Christians were baptised near the broad ford, there have probably been 3 churches on this site. Of the first, nothing now remains except 2 carved stones dating from Anglo-Saxon times, possibly remains of crosses. A cross is shown in the wall hanging, surrounded and enfolded by Bradford's green hills and its ancient woodland. The parish church was long known as the Kirk in the Wood. A reminder of the woodland can be seen in a carving on the pulpit base, where the face of a tiny green man peers through leaves. The beck can be seen at the bottom of the panel. Only 200 years ago, trout were swimming in the clear waters of the beck, near to where the wool exchange now stands, and there was a large rookery nearby. The top border of the Bradford panel shows doves roosting. The side borders show moorland grasses. The lower border shows trout. The third wall panel, nearest to the door, is that of the Holy Island of Lindisfarne, to which Aidan was called in 634. The panel is bordered at the top with eagles, a Celtic symbol for extraordinary vision. The sides are cowslips, which grow on the island, amongst the profusion of vetch and bird's foot trefoil and campion. The lower border shows fishing boats. The main panel shows the island's crag dominating the skyline. The original priory may well have been built on the long arm of the Heugh, curving around the natural harbour. Aidan, and subsequently Cuthbert, used to retreat to other Farne Islands periodically to fast and pray. Here, under the immensely wide Northumbrian skies, Aidan lived in simplicity and humility with great love and wisdom.